Hey you guys, I've got another fact video for you this evening, following on from the other couple that I've uploaded this month, which you seem to be enjoying, so that's good. This video today is going to be about the world's hardest mountains to climb, and there's 11 of them. So get yourself relaxed and we will get right into it. I just move that a little bit there. Okay, here we go. It's not just height that makes a mountain mean. Different routes can make one side of a mountain a cinch and the other side nearly impossible. The weather can turn a technically easy climb into a deadly expedition. Whatever the weather, many aspire to tackle the world's hardest mountains to climb. Here's our ranking of the 11 trickiest ascents. Glorious and grueling, gorgeous and grim, these peaks are as dangerous as they are awe-inspiring. Number 1 is Annapurna in Nepal. Elevation 8,091 meters. Average time to summit 40 to 50 days. By no means should a mountain's height be confused with its technical difficulty. Annapurna in Nepal, the 10th highest peak in the world, is deadly proof. With a near 40% summit fatality rate, a mountaineer is more likely to die here than on any other 8,000 meter climb. The threat of storms and avalanches loom over the mountain's hulking glacial architecture. The south face, in particular, is widely considered the most dangerous climb on Earth. Thanks to helicopter tours, the Annapurna range can now also be explored from the base camp without the strenuous trek. Number 2, K2 in China and Pakistan. Elevation 8,611 meters. Average time to summit 60 days. Though plenty of peaks in the Himalaya could contest for second on our list, K2's technical difficulty is legendary. It's also the second tallest mountain in the world. No list of the hardest mountains to climb would be complete without it. In an infamous section called the Bottleneck, climbers traverse a towering overhang of precarious glacial ice and massive, sometimes unstable, seracs. What is a serac? A block or column of glacial ice, often formed by intersecting crevices on a glacier. Okay. The bottleneck is the fastest route to the top, minimizing time climbing above K2's death zone, the 8,000 meter altitude above which human life can only briefly be sustained. But too often these seracs come tumbling down, taking climbers with them. Number 3 is Kangchenjunga, India and Nepal. Elevation 8,586 meters. Average time to summit 40 to 60 days. While climbing death rates are generally decreasing, Kangchenjunga stands as an unfortunate exception to the rule, taking more lives as time goes on. It seems fitting that the mountain is regarded as the home of a Rakshasa. I might have said that wrong. That's a man-eating demon. Only 187 have ever reached the top, though out of respect for the mountain's immense religious significance among the region's Buddhists, climbers have always stopped short of the summit. Number 4, Bhainta Brak in Pakistan. Not really sure of my pronunciation of some of these. So Bhainta Brak in Pakistan. Elevation 7,285 meters. Average time to summit, undetermined. Commonly called the Ogre, towering Brook has only been summited a handful of times. Immense in scale, intricate in shape, and harrowing in incline, this mountain is both the blight and biggest desire of mountaineering's most hardcore enthusiasts. From the start, any attempt at this mountain is a veritable struggle for survival. Number 5, one we all know, Mount Everest in Nepal and Tibet. Elevation 8,848 meters. Average time to summit 54 days. Are you surprised to see the world's tallest mountain in the middle of our list? Make no mistake, Everest is still a difficult climb. Weather and altitudes can be deadly, and avalanches have claimed dozens of lives in recent years. Everest's glory has faded somewhat with the mountain's commercialization. While once it was a feat not many travelers could claim to have achieved, today's services enable climbers to hire local Sherpas to lug their packs, employ chefs to prepare food, and even have a personal medic at base camp in case of injury. What's more, the crowds that Everest attracts have become an unfortunate danger in themselves. If you do not invest in a climb, prepare to join a traffic jam-like queue of hundreds of climbers waiting their turn to reach the summit. As I was looking up these, I read that Mount Everest should actually be pronounced Everest. Have you guys heard that? Because apparently the guy that it was named after, his last name was pronounced Everest, and then somehow along the way it started being called Everest. But I think I'm going to keep calling it Everest anyway. I've also heard it costs tens of thousands of dollars to climb it, which is crazy. Next on the list, Denali, Alaska. Elevation 6,190 meters. Average time to summit 21 days. The altitude, awful weather, relative isolation and punishing temperatures all pose a serious threat to those who attempt to summit North America's tallest mountain, previously known as Mount McKinley. Further, its high degree of latitude means that atmosphere and oxygen are spread very thin. Despite having only a 50% summit success rate, Mount Denali in Alaska never fails to tempt climbers. Perhaps the words of one of the first climbers to the summit, Robert Tatum, can explain its allure. The view from the top of Mount McKinley is like looking out the windows of heaven. Number 7, the Eiger, Switzerland. Elevation 3,970 meters. Average time to summit 2 to 3 days. The difficulty of the Eiger's north face has earned it a disturbing nickname, Murder Wall. Attempting to summit requires serious technical skills and ice axe finesse. The sharp overhang, 1,800-meter face, and ever-increasing threat of falling ice and rock, a result of global warming, have killed at least 64 climbers since the first successful ascent in 1938. And the website recommends that if you prefer to admire the mountains from a different point of view, you can consider skydiving around there instead. Number 8, Cerro Torre in Argentina and Chile. Elevation 3,128 meters. Average time to summit 4 to 7 days. Cerro Torre has long captivated the hopes and hearts of climbers, a jagged spire jutting out of the Patagonian icefields mountains. Notoriously sheer with a peak guarded by a hazardous layer of rime ice formed by battering winds, it does not offer itself up easily. Climbers must be prepared to tunnel through the ice and deal with vertical and overhanging sections. Number 9. Matterhorn, Switzerland. Elevation 4,478 meters. Average time to summit 5 days. An icon of the Alps, the Wizard's Hat peak of the Matterhorn is successfully tackled by hundreds of climbers every year. However, this is no reason to assume it's an easy climb. The mountain has claimed more than 500 lives since 1865 and takes a few more each year. Falling rocks have always posed a threat, but the crowds scrambling towards the peak every day during this Swiss summer have created new challenges for climbers to conquer, and new reasons to try the more demanding conditions of winter. Number 10. Oh, this one's interesting. Vinson Massif in Antarctica. Elevation 4,892 meters. Average time to summit 7 to 21 days. Fabled Vinson was first glimpsed by human eyes in 1958. Since then, some 1,400 people have reached the summit. Weather poses the greatest threat here. It has some of the coldest temperatures on the planet, and winds that can easily surpass 80 kilometers per hour. The simple fact that it could take weeks to get to a proper hospital in an emergency makes this a remarkably dangerous excursion. Furthermore, getting to Antarctica is going to cost you a lot. And finally, number 11, Mont Blanc in Italy and France. Elevation 4,808 meters. Average time to summit 2 days. Okay, it may not be that tall compared to peaks in the Himalayas, and typical routes aren't that technically challenging, but Mont Blanc is still a challenging climb. The mountain's position on the border of Italy and France makes it all the more convenient. This sort of heady logic brings many tourists to Mont Blanc every year, and maybe that's why Mont Blanc has killed more people than any other mountain. Some 8,000 have perished on this scenic European climb, most of them novices. Be responsible and be prepared if you're planning to climb Mont Blanc. Its power shouldn't be taken lightly. If you're based in Geneva and only have a day, we recommend taking a day tour to Chamonix, where one can take the cable car to Mont Blanc. And that's the end of the article, guys. Do you think you'll be taking a hike anytime soon? I think I like the kind of hikes that are not too challenging and definitely only take a few hours at the most. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you in the next video. See you later.